Hi, it's the 2nd of January, and this is the first episode of a new series I'm recording, obviously. It's, as you'll know by the title on the video, it is finished in February. So as the year ended, I was looking through some of my lingering projects. Some of them have lingered for a long time. However, I want to get them finished and off my needles and out of the baskets and make some space for them, other things. So I thought I'll try and get them all finished during February. Hopefully some of them before February, but let's get started. If you haven't watched any of my podcasts, I'm Anna. I'm a yarn dyer, and you can find, if you're interested, you don't have to be, in any of the yarns or any of my yarns. There'll be a link in the description below, but this video isn't even about that. And there's some of my hand dyed, but this video isn't even. Let me have a sip of my coffee, hold on. I've just got a regular filtered coffee in my Christmas mug. I'll get a bit of use out of my Christmas mugs before I put them away in a couple of days. It's the 2nd, like I said, so I need to tidy the room where the decorations go and give it like a really good clean out, because once all the decorations go back in there, they're probably just going to stay there until I get them back out again this year, not next year now, this year. So I'm going to give it a good clean and sort, and then I'm going to sort out the area today, and then clean it all, clean all the walls and things, and give it a good clean, and then on Sunday take down the decorations and put them away. So all the mugs will be going away with the Christmas decorations. So this is just, like I said, filter coffee. So let me get started. I have 9 projects that I could find or think about. There might be more, but I can't even remember them. So this is what we have. So I'll just get started. It's mostly crochet, actually, which could be good for getting it finished, because as anyone who does crochet knows, it goes a lot quicker than knitting. So first item in this wool warehouse bag, very fancy project bags around here, there's a cardigan which I have my doubts if this one will be finished in February. However, it won't be finished in February if I don't even try, so just going to try. It doesn't matter if I don't achieve it. So this is all I've done on my cardigan. So this is the back panel. It will be, look, this is the length of it basically. So I'm almost finished with the back panel, if I remember correctly. So it's a good size. So I'll do a few more inches. So it will be like to here. So I'll probably do about 10 more rows, and then I'll just have to crochet along and do the front panels instead of doing them lengthwise, I think, because I want them to be slightly V. I'm going to just pick up the stitches along the shoulders. So the reason why this one takes so long is because this is a lace weight yarn. It is a lace weight yarn, and it is crocheted on a 2.5mm crochet hook. It makes a lovely fabric. It is so soft. This is do I have the label in here with this? No, I do have a label somewhere for it. This is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. What is the company that made it? I think it's a discontinued yarn. I should have all the details. I'll put the details in the description when I find the ball band. I should have brought it over. I didn't, so. Yeah, this one is taking its sweet time. But that's okay. I'll love it once it's done. I think it's going to be beautiful. It's a lot more, the variegation is a lot more on camera than it is in real life. On camera, it looks very sort of camo, you know, but in real life, it's much more subtle. So this is project number 1. One of the projects that it's also taken so long because half double crochet. And if I was a smart girl and thinking logically, it should have been a double, US double, which is a UK treble, I think. I use US terms. I learned to crochet with like US tutorials, and the US terms do make more sense. Yeah, so I did half doubles. So each row is just tiny. This would be like twice the height if I'd done it with doubles, but I didn't. So this one's number 1. If I can even just have the body of it finished in February, I think that would be good, because it will have full-length sleeves and maybe pockets depending on how much of the yarn's left, which I suspect there will be a lot because it is a lace weight yarn. So I think this has like 800 meters per 100 grams, and I've got what, 1, 2, well, that one might be in use. I think that one might be in use. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 and a bit left, which is a lot of meterage. So I should have enough to do some pockets on it, which I would like. I need to actually dig out the notebook. Fuzz on my lip. I need to dig out the notebook where I've got all my details about this pattern, because it's just self-drafted. Number 2 is also crochet. I'm a bit more certain I can get this one done in the time frame because of the stitch. Like, this is a 4-ply yarn. It's in 4-ply. And it's with a... do I have the hook in here? Oh, did I lose the hook? No, thank God. I'd have to go back through all my videos to find out which hook it was. It's 2.5mm again, but it's 2.5mm on 4-ply, and it is granny squares, which work up so quickly. So this cardigan is all my own hand dyed, and it is, let me show you. So I've done, this is the back panel, so I've done 3 rows. Oh, that's so blown out. That's better. I've done 3 rows of the back, and each one is, I think I've single, oh, I should take notes, shouldn't I? I should take more notes. I think I have single crocheted them together, but it could be slip stitch, but it looks more like a single crochet, but once I get started I'll be able to tell. So this was using my a Court of Thorns and Roses like mini skeins I had left over from my yarn club I did in 2024. So I managed to get, I think, 3 squares for each colour. So, or is it only 2? Or is this one already in there? Oh no, 3. I managed to get, I'm sorry if I'm bumping the microphone, but my top keeps bumping into my neck. Yes, that's not the same colour. What am I doing? There we go. I managed to get 3 squares from each. They're 5-inch squares. Managed to get 3 5-inch squares from each of the 20-gram minis. So I've got a lot of the minis. I only had 11 colours in the end, not 12, because I couldn't find the 12th colour. I must have sold all of them and had none left over. So there's a load of squares I still have to edge. I've edged some of them, like this is the red, like the purpley red that's going in between them, which is this yarn, which is my own hand dyed. It's Hecate's Half. It's one of my favourite colours. Anyone who's looked in my shop will know I don't have many tonals or solid colours. I do gravitate towards dye-in speckles and variegated, heavily speckled, heavily variegated yarns. But every so often I do dye up a solid that I really like, and this one's always available to purchase. It's available to purchase as a pre. Most of my solids are pre-order, but they should come out pretty quickly because they're a solid, so they really aren't even a trouble to dye. I don't have to set up the whole workspace to do it, really. I can stick a pan on and get them dyed up like pretty much the same day, next day, within a few days. So this is the one that's going in between the colours, and then this is the edging colour. And then I have to work out what to do for the sleeves. I'm thinking I'm not doing granny squares for the sleeve because I wouldn't have enough of these squares to do the sleeves as well in them. I might have enough to do, I did do some working out, but I can't find where the piece of paper is I did all my working out on. I did work out, I think I can do one like band on each shoulder of the squares, and then maybe just do granny stripe rows in one of these colours, whichever one I've got the most of. I can dye up some more if I need to, but I do have quite a bit, so I've got 100, 200 of this and this left, and I've got 200, I've got 100 and I don't know, like 80 something probably of that left. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this one I can get done because I've crocheted up all of the coloured squares and all of the variegated squares, and I just need to crochet up some more of these to finish it off. I already have quite a few done, so I've got one that needs to be blocked as well, so I'm pretty sure I can get this done in, at least, I won't get done before February, but I can get this done by the end of February, famous last words. Which I'm excited for because I really want to wear it. I really like the idea of this one. I haven't got that many cardigans anymore, and I really do love a cardigan. So this one, number 2, hopefully will be done. Another crochet project that has been, I started this project the beginning of last year, end of the previous, beginning of the year, I think, beginning of 25. So this is a baby blanket for my nephew. Oh, this is the right way, I think. Yeah. Oh, it's got a little mark on it. Yeah, so I've got, and this blanket does take forever because you have to do each row basically twice, because you don't crochet into the top of the stitch, you crochet into the row below. It does take forever. Even for crochet it takes forever. What am I trying to say? Crochet is normally quick. This is not quick. That's what I'm trying to say. I've got all this yarn left. And I did also at one point lose the hook I was using, and I think it was a 4mm. I think it was this one, but it might not be. I guess we'll find out. So I need to do this. I want to get this done because it will be it's for my nephew, and his birthday is in it's the beginning of the year, in like the first few months, so I would like to get this finished during that time frame, so that will be a priority to have that for his birthday. Not much more to say about that one. The next one is a knitting project, and I'm pretty sure I can get this one done in time. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Hold on. This one's a knitted project, and I'm quite a way through it, and it's just like a scarf shawl, so I'm sure I can get it done. It doesn't look like much right now because it's full eyelet, so it needs to be blocked, and then you'll actually see. But this is it. So when it blocks and it opens up, it will look nice, but currently it's all just bunched up. And so I've done all of this, and this is knit. This is this is kind of a lace weight, but I'm not 100% sure because it wasn't labelled. This was a yarn that came in a big mystery box of undyed yarns from World of Wool, and none of the yarns are labelled in what weight they are, what their composition is, or anything. So it's all a bit of a mystery. It looks like it's got some sort of level of silk maybe in it, but I'm not sure. And I think it's like a 4-ply. I'm treating it like it's a 4-ply, but it doesn't really matter what I'm treating it as because I'm using a massive needle. So I'm using a 6mm needle, and it's just every single row is basically knit one, then yarn over, then knit two together, yarn over, knit two together, and you do that all the way until there's one stitch left, and then you knit that one, and then you do the same thing every single row. And this is, I think it's going to be quite a nice, it's got wool in it. I'm sure it's got wool in it because all of the yarns had wool in them. They were a wool blend or 100% wool. That's the only thing I knew about the pack. Yeah, so this is going to be lovely, and this will be finished because, I'm quite a way through it. I do need to do a lot more, but it's big needles, and it's such a simple pattern that I could do it like watching TV and things. I've lost the ball. I'll get that later because I'm under the table. I also have quite a bit of it left, so I've got what's left in the ball, and I have 2 more skeins. I won't need 2 more skeins. I would be surprised if I need to crack into a second skein for it, because also as it's lace, as it's like completely lace eyelet, it's all crunched up, and once it blocks, it will stretch completely out. So I won't need to make it as long as you think you do because it will stretch. Next project what, 4? No, 5. Project 5. If you've seen my podcast, you'll have seen this project before. And this one as well, I do want to get done. This one is more of a challenge to get done because of the needles. So this is on these metal needles. These are, I think, Knit Pro ones, and they're, I think, 7mm, although it's kind of worn off. These ones. And the problem with these is I can't knit this in the evening when I'm watching TV with my sister because the sound of it drives her crazy. So I can only work on this when I'm by myself. This is just a blanket. It's just a big old blanket. It's just basic stocking stitch. So knit a row, purl a row, all the way. The yarn is this. It is Boogie Nights by Lion Brand. You got 85 grams per you got 85 grams in each ball, and it's a chunky, I think. Chunky, super chunky, I think. And I've got quite a few left, but basically I just want to use all of it up. So I'm just going to knit to the end. I've done some basic, like doing some rows and check-in. So I've put aside these two for casting off. And that, I mean, this one alone should be enough to cast off with the testing the rows out and things. It should be more than enough. But just in case, I've got this nugget here. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got all of these to knit through. Thumbnail. And this one I intend to get done, if possible. I could take it up to bed and do it in bed. That might be a good way to get some headway on it. That pile of baskets is getting quite precarious. This one is another knitted jumper. A cardigan, knitted cardigan. Okay, let me see where I am with this. Thought it was mohair, but it was my own hair. So this is the back. Actually, I think it's the other way around, isn't it? It's this way around. This is the back panel of a cardigan. And this is the same yarn as the Granny Square cardigan. It's the Quarter Thorns and Roses. But this is the scraps of the samples I did for the shop. So each of these is what's left over from knitting a pair of socks as a sample. So I have 11 colours it's done in. This is a knit 2, purl 2, and then knit to the next row. So it's not quite a broken rib because it doesn't give you the extra bump, because traditional broken rib, you would do your rib row and then you would purl when you're doing it flat. I just knit it because I forgot that I was meant to purl, actually, to be honest. And I was like 3 colours in, so we were not unravelling this. I wouldn't have unravelled it regardless. If you make a mistake but carry on doing it, it's now just a pattern loophole, you know. So, and it was mohair, so 100% I wasn't unravelling it, and it doesn't matter. It's fine. I like it. It makes a beautiful pattern anyway. It just sort of makes a slightly flatter rib, which is what you want from broken rib anyway, but it's more of a distinct pattern when you do the purl row. But so this is with, like I said, my own hand dyed. I've made some very very intricate notes for how I've done this, as you'll see. You see? So hopefully it all turns out right. This is being knit on what is it, 4mm needles? Did I put down what needles I used? Yeah, 4mm. I've started on the first of the front panels, and yeah, it should be. I'm looking forward to wearing it. It should be done during February, I'm hoping, because I've already done the back panel, so it's really just the front panels are so much less knitting because you split it in half. So yes, technically it's about the same amount of knitting, but mentally it feels like it's just flying. It doesn't matter that you don't have to redo it again on the second side. This current piece, flying. Oh, I found a lipstick in here. Oh, lovely. Can you see that? No, that's not helping. Anyway, it's a red one. I did wonder where that had gone. I haven't been in this basket in ages. couple of months probably. And the mohair that's being used on it is Drops Kid Silk lace weight. So and the colour is number 38, which is chalk, I think. I did have a slight issue with my ones. These are the yeah. So I think this was the original colour, which was more of a grey colour. And then the new batch I got, which this one's part of, is slightly more pink. I don't know if you can even see on camera, but they are slightly different shades. You can't really see on camera. It does just kind of blend out a bit, but this one's more pink. It looks more grey on camera, but in real life it looks a lot more pinky toned. It won't matter at all. I have no concerns about it because I'm holding it with such variegated yarns. No one's going to really, you're not going to notice because there's such a change in colours regardless. I did get 4 extra mohairs and I'm not going to need 4 extra mohairs, so I will work out what to do with the other ones, unless I decide to just hold like some of the mohairs together, because I do have an issue with the sleeves that I'm not sure. I don't want to do them. I don't think I want to do them in the stripes because I don't think I can get the stripes to match up properly with the colours. That just all seems like too much work. That seems like I'm going to have to do a lot more like planning and measuring things out and things. I don't want to do that. So I'm either going to dye up another colour or have a look through my stash and see what I've got. I've got a few colours that could work. And just take that and hold that double, hold that with the mohair and do the sleeves in just one colour, which could work because there's so many colours already in this. That one I would like to be finished in February. Gosh, I've been talking forever. But I only have 2 more to go, so. This one, I don't even know when I started this. This is in a really good project bag. Wait till you see it. An old Co-op carrier bag. And this has moved from pillar to post. It is just an old, it's just all this old yarn. It's on a 4mm hook and it's DK yarn. It is just a total granny square, totally scrappy, all just acrylic DK. That was scraps. I had all these tiny little scraps. I was covered in so much dog hair because of how much it's just been sitting around. And this is just a magic knot ball. So I just took all the different colours, the little scraps of them, and just magic knotted them together into a ball. I did have 2 of the balls, but I've worked through one of them. So I think I'll just finish this ball and call it a day. And hopefully I'll have this done during February. Not much really to say about that one either. Just get it. I had thought about just getting rid of it, but I've done so much work on it, I might as well finish it. And then the last one is one, again, people on the podcast will have seen a few times, but not for a while. I think hold on, that's my sister talking. That's okay. That's okay, isn't it? She didn't say anything rude. Knowing her, it could have been rude though. Pure chance. Put the hook back in the bag. This is my problem. Leave the hook out and then you're buggered, aren't you? Well, probably not you. You probably remember. I don't. For this project, oh, I've got so much. I think I've got mohair in my eyeball. Okay, I just poked myself in the eye. That definitely wasn't helpful. I'm just going to try and ignore it for now because I'm just going to make it more painful. So, another granny square blanket. This one is quite big now. It's huge. And it's all sock yarns. All, almost all sock yarns. A couple of them are just 4-ply. So this is all the tiny scraps. So for the last year or so, any scraps I've had that have been 10 grams or under have gone into this bag upstairs in my bedroom, and I've been adding it to my blanket. So I'm going basically intending to do the last few colours I have into the blanket. So I've got a few more small colours to go. This one's already been worked in. This one's slightly bigger, but I didn't want to use it again in socks, so I put that in there. And then I've got to decide between these two to finish the blanket. So I'm going to do use up all of one of these as a final colour just to finish it off, to make it just a bit bigger, it's a bit more useful, and not as many ends then, because these are about like 50-60 grams. So add a nice amount of yarn to the project, but I'm not sure which yet. Probably this one's a bit bigger, but this is a 4-ply blanket crocheted on a 4mm hook, basic granny square. The only thing I do is, because it's so big, I didn't do it to begin with because when it's smaller it doesn't matter, but now that it's big, every time I finish a round I will turn my work so you're working back the way you've come, which stops it kind of skewing. You don't have to do that though, because it's just a big old blanket, but it does look a bit better. So that one I will get done, partly because I really want to use it because it's so lovely, so many colours in it. And I need to look at another project to start with my little scraps, because I have so many scraps. These are just some of my scraps, and by some I mean some. There are a lot more. There's like a whole bowl up in that cupboard there. That's a problem for another day though. And that is they are all the projects that I'm looking at finishing for February. The rest of this will just be a bit of a vlog now. I'll record a bit of footage for the week, and I'll record some updates on what I've done with the different projects, what progress I've made. And then, yeah, that's really it, I think. I'll just do some vlogging of like what I'm getting up with. I'm not being up to too much actually, probably just some dog walks for the next few days and some tidying. Probably don't want to see the tidying part, but I'll show you the dog walks. Look how sore my eye looks. Doesn't help that I poached myself in it, but I will probably check in with you again once I've done some more work on one of these projects. woke up this morning to find out it had snowed. Yes, not a lot of snow, but snow is snow. And Odin is going to love it. Depending on how the day pans out, I'm going to try and get him out at least in the snow for a bit. We'll see. I've got other work to do with a magpie in the tree. I might scare it when I open the door, but let's see. It didn't look so peaceful when it snows. You guys probably can't see the magpie, it's just like right there in the tree. It's the 5th of January, so it's been a few days since I recorded. A bit of a progress update and how I'm progressing. Progress update with my decisions. Let's just move on, it's fine. Okay, so I've been working, as you will have seen, on the blanket. It's the back of the blanket I'm showing you, hold on. The front of the blanket. So this is how much I have done, which actually isn't bad, is it? That's like what I started on the 2nd, so yeah, I'm quite proud of that. That's progress anyway. Is it the biggest progress? No, but chipping away is going to be the way to go, because these needles are not comfortable to use. They're so big and they're so hard. If they were wood, I think I'd prefer it a bit more. And I knit socks. I'm a big sock knitter, so oh, shivers. So I'm using 2.5mm needles all the time, and this like 8 or 9mm big metal needle, it's not enjoyable, but I think the blanket is going to be lovely, don't you? Sparkles. So that's the progress I've made. I have not finished the ball I was on, but I don't know how I caked this up, but have a look at that. This isn't meant to happen when you've gone to the effort of caking your yarn. What's happened here? Okay, this is the working bit. Let's hold that to the side. Yeah, is that just the middle coming out? Is this a tail I see? That's another tail I see. So, I will deal with that later. That's a later problem. That's the progress I've made. I'm intending to do 5 rows a day on that blanket, and so far I haven't done my 5 rows yet today, but so far every day, so 2nd, 3rd and the 4th, I did my 5 rows, which is good. It will chip away at it. And the other project I've decided to pull out to get done, so I can try and get 2 projects done, so I've just got 7 left to go, is the Granny Square sock yarn blanket. So let me show you where we are. I'm not putting a stitch marker in for this because it's so big and it's around, so you don't get the same sort of feeling of progress that you do in like a back and forth project. When it goes around like that, it doesn't really gauge how much you've done as such, unless you've done a lot from that stitch marker. But my blanket's so big now that it takes a while to get back round to that stitch marker again. So what I'm doing instead is I'm aiming, which I haven't actually done, I only did what I intend to do on the 2nd. So I have the 3rd, the 4th and today. So I've got basically my intention is to do a side of the blanket every day. So I've got 3 sides to try and do, so I'll be on track. Which I brought it down, because usually I try and do this in bed, but I just haven't been wanting to pull it out. Where am I? So it doesn't really matter where I am. A side a day, and obviously every round the side will get big, and that's okay. So, and just to keep going until I have used up all the yarn in this bag. So what I've got left is the orange that I'm currently working on, and I have this I'm attaching another yarn to this yarn. That's why I'm not coming to the end of it. Bloody hell. So this yarn, which is my own hand-dyed, it's not available anymore. It was a sock set, Zinnia sock set, but they're all gone. And it was a one of a kind sort of set. And then this one also has to go in, which is a yarn that I'm not sure if it's available because I haven't checked on, because I've not been buying hand-dyed yarns recently. I've got enough to work through. This was a Christmas yarn from Pickle and Twist. Oh, and actually, no, I did check, and last time I checked, Pickle and Twist were on a break. It didn't have like a definite end date either. It just said they were taking a break. So, and this yarn was lovely. It's so soft. It's lovely. It didn't quite hit it for me with distribution of dye, because I've dyed yarns that do this sometimes, but I try not to, from my own sake. A lot of pooling in this, like big patches of pooling, but the socks are so soft and they don't bleed at all, even with like the red and the like undyed bits. It's very well set. It's a very well dyed yarn. It's just not quite right for me. And then there is this little guy, which is another one of my hand dyed. This was the colour Odin. So those are the colours I want to get done. And then I've got to do this. I'm not doing this one in the end. I've decided I'm doing this colour. And I've got to crochet all of this into the blanket until I'm almost out of yarn, because obviously I need to finish the round I'm on, but you get it. So this colour, so I've got just these to go in a granny square blanket, and granny square blankets do eat yarn, as crochet does. So that should hopefully be done in the next couple of weeks. I'll get that out of the way, and then I'll weave in all the ends. As you can see by how many colour changes there are quite a few ends. I love this blanket. It's so like insanely coloured, but I do just love it. I also love how it changes, because obviously in the middle of it, where the rounds are a lot smaller, you have a lot of like patches of colour, but then once you get out here, you don't even get like a full row a lot of the time of a colour. So this is the other one I'm working on, and I'll be doing some work on this one today, and I'll be doing some work, trying to get my 5 rows done on that one as well. Just a quick update, I'll record some, I'm taking down the Christmas decorations today, so I will record that, or at least some of it, because it might be a long time. I'll speed it up as well, because you don't need to watch that in real time. And then I'll check in probably tomorrow or Wednesday with the progress I've made or not made on the progress I've made on these projects. Because if I want to get all of these done, I've got to crack on. I thought I'd make her some like spinach and ricotta rigatoni, which hopefully will turn out right. I needed actually a bit more ricotta for the amount of spinach I chopped, but you know, oh, you can tell I care about someone if I've chopped up the entire bag of spinach for them. Back for a final check-in of the first week of finished in February. So I'll just show you the progress I've made. I've picked, as you'll have noticed from the videos, I've picked like 2 projects to work on, which I thought I'd probably have been more successful with, because splitting my time evenly across all 9 projects was going to give me such little progress that I think it would be disheartening. So I decided just to concentrate on 2 things, 1 knitting, 1 crochet, and try and get those as finished or as close to being finished as possible, then pick up some of the other things or another thing. So I'll show you what I've done on those 2 items. Let me just clip this on now. I don't know why I was holding it to begin with. Oh. Messing that up. How do I do this? Why is it that I can do... My hair's really wet because I had showered and washed it this morning. And I thought, no, wait until your hair's dry and then record your video. But then I thought, no, if I don't do it when I'm thinking about it, the day just gets away from me. I'm terrible with just... If I don't do something in the moment I'm thinking about it, my mind just skips over it and I don't remember it until it's too late. So do it when I think about it. Oh, my thumb is still sore. It's getting better, but my cat scratched me. She's lucky that she's so cute and that I love her so much, because she is an absolute demon. Okay, on track. Let's just finish this out the week off. Okay, so one of the projects is the Granny Square Scrap Sock Blanket, shall we call it. And I have made a lot of progress on this, a lot. I'll show you the blanket, but it doesn't really show you that much because, you know, it's round like that. It's not such like a... It doesn't feel linear. I don't know if that makes sense. So this is the blanket. Screenshot, no. Thumbnail. So I've crocheted in every single scrap that was in the bag for it. And now I just have the last ball, which I haven't actually weighed, but I will weigh it before I start crocheting, because what I'm thinking also, it'd be interesting to take some weights for the different stages, because yeah, the blanket does increase every round, but it doesn't increase dramatically. It's only like a few stitches. So that will give me some idea about how big... Like I can also just, if I weigh it for 2 rounds, that will tell me how much it increases by each time, so then I can work out. Because what I would like to do is finish off with a round of like just border. So I was thinking just single crochet border around the edge. Yeah, that was what I was saying. So yeah, I'm really doing well on that. So hopefully, I mean, this is bigger than the scrap balls, but it's probably around 50, 60, maybe around 60 grams, between 50 and 60, I'd imagine, because I don't think I've used this yarn for anything other than a pair of socks. And generally I use about, like, I normally have at least between like 45 and like 65 grams left for a pair of socks. Yeah, this one is my own hand dyed. That is Parapet, which was a colour from my Fourth Wing yarn club I did, mystery yarn club. Yes, so I'm hoping that will be finished for next week, but we shall see. It'd be good to get one, wouldn't it, done completely, but there will be an awful lot of ends to weave in, so the crochet part finished. The weaving in might take a bit longer. And then the other project, which I do want to actually pop a stitch marker on at some point, but I'll probably do that in the next week's video. So the other project is the blanket, and I knit through that whole cake that I had started with. So one cake is in there now. And I've started on another cake, which means after this one I only have 3 cakes to go, and then it's casting off. So if I can average out 1 cake a week, yeah, that would get me there like around about what, like 2nd week of January. So beginning of February I should hopefully have this done. And this isn't such a big deal either with weaving in the ends, because they're quite big cakes, so there's not actually that many ends to weave in. Yeah, so I'll show you how far I got, and that was doing 5 rows every single day. I did do all 5 rows every day. Some days it got down to the wire, but I did it. So that's the progress. It's a week of knitting, and that's not too shabby, is it? Let me grab my ruler. I haven't got a tape measure with me, but I've got a ruler right here. Let me grab that and do a quick drop it in. Do a quick rough measurement. It won't be exact because I'll be holding it. It won't be laid down flat, but give us some idea about what we're doing. You see, if I was organised, I would have measured it before I sat down to do this, but I didn't. And that's just how it goes, you know. You might wobble a little bit because I'm just going to pop the blanket down on the surface that you are on. And let me give a rough measurement. So that was just over 6 inches in a week. So that's not too shabby, is it? 6 inches in a week. So this could be quite a nice size, couldn't it, by the end? Because that cake I was a little bit into it. I think I'd only just, like, maybe a few rows. So roughly about 6 or 7 inches per cake. So this should be quite a nice size blanket, really, by the end. Yeah, this is a discontinued yarn. Lion Brand Boogie Nights. I can't remember the shade. I made quite a lot out of this because it was such a good price. It was 75 grams, and I think it was like 80p per one. So I just bought a load of it. I made my mum a scarf and hat set, which she really likes. So yeah, I've made progress on 2 of the things, and I feel good about that. I think that's like an achievable way to look at it. Once I've finished the crochet blanket, I'll pick another crochet project. I have more crochet projects than knitted projects that I'm working on. So, and this one I think it'll take a bit longer because knitting does take longer. You make far less progress with like per like row or round, don't you? So I hope you guys have had a really good week. I've recorded a little bit of like vlog footage that you'll have seen. If you have any feedback on things that like you're not interested in seeing, or other things that you'd like to see, you can comment down below and I'll see if I can pop them into the next video, or so on and so forth. I feel quite good that I'm actually going to keep on with this series because it feels nice to have like visible progress on things. Visible progress is what I need in my life. Like we were talking the other day because we had the plasterer come to do the ceilings in the hallway, and he was saying, oh, how like what a good job we're doing with stripping the paintwork off the staircase. And like it is hard work, and it's time consuming, but it is feels different because there's such visible progress. Like as you like heat the paint and you see it bubble, and then you peel it off and it's gone. Yeah, will have to like sand it and things like that, but the paint is gone. And that seems to be what works best for me, is to be able to see to look at it and see, no, you've made real progress. So anyway, I'll go. I'll see you next week.